You said that Shannon Sharpe's interview with Cat Williams was predatory and messy, and it doesn't feel this is a fair example of relationships among black comedians.
I don't think so at all. I think that like any other endeavor, there are jealousies, idiosyncrasies, there's all, but I don't think that's indicative of the experiences that most of us have. And I think that after the Cat Williams interview, which was a phenomenon, he kept trying to replicate it.
Oh, I bring another black
Shannon
comedian?
kept trying to replicate it. He kept trying to, let me bring on somebody else to have a beef and then do, like, it just got to be, like, I can understand it was a phenomenon, but then all of a sudden, you tried to replicate it. It is too messy, or now I think it's morphed into something else, because I think that has kind of, that brook has run dry. Never had a white mistress.
Never.
Even my mistresses have been black.
Have you ever had sex with a white woman?
No, I haven't. But, and not because...
Wait, you've never had sex with a white woman?
And
in life?
She said, come on. So I go back, I go back in her bedroom. So, set my stuff down, and I'm looking at the door handle. It's turning. I say, homeboy, no, I don't get down like that.
DL Hughley just lit a fire under Shannon Sharpe and didn't even try to soften it, straight up accusing him of letting certain women get in his mind and even mess with his money. And yeah, that statement got people talking loud. And before you try to brush it off like DL just throwing random shots, nah. Once you see what's been going on lately, it starts making a lot more sense why he spoke up like that. Everybody's been tuning into the latest episode of Club Shay, and it's going viral for a reason. The clips are everywhere, and people can't stop reacting because Shannon's behavior in that interview has folks confused and side-eyeing hard. It's one of those moments where you watch it once, then run it back like, wait, did he really just move like that?
When we found out my mom was been lying about us about having stage 2 cancer and it was stage 4. Bro, my mom was driving herself to chemo until they put her on hospice. She ain't deserved that, and I was mad at her at the time because I remember I told you my dad did. Mm-hmm. I ain't know how to just. Yeah, bro. I ain't like that, because, man,
You say you was mad at your mom, what? Because she didn't have anybody to take her? She had to drive herself?
No. I was mad at my mom for my childhood. My dad, at 25, told me I cut my whole family off for 3 years. I was pissed at them. Because my dad was a real nigga. Was looking for me my whole life, and I was looking for him, and you got all these random ass in my life. I wanted my dad. And then I got mad at my mom, and then she died. Man, I didn't know how to say it. I didn't know how to say that. And then I just went out there. I just had the wrong shorts on. They fit the same, so I couldn't feel that shit. Y'all laugh. That day, James died 2 days before, my cousin. And I was supposed to be in a funeral, and I was at shoot-around like, damn, should I get on this flight or just play, bro? If I get on this flight, they gonna think I'm lying about people dying and shit. I ain't wanna play at all. I ain't wanna play. I was one of my favorite people and shit, and they was just laughing at me and shit. They was just laughing at me, man. I was hot. I was hot. I hated them niggas, man, because my mom didn't deserve shit. And then James died in the car, man. The only reason the nigga ain't, because the nigga came down the street and they let James die in the car, man. I couldn't be there for him. And y'all laughed at me.
So here's the situation broken down. Former NBA player Michael Beasley sat down with Shannon for what should have been a real meaningful conversation about his journey through basketball and life. And if you know Beasley's background, then you already know his story hits heavy because he had all the talent in the world, but didn't get the smooth path people expected. He was drafted number 2 overall.
I'm scared of snow bunnies. He prophesied Shannon Sharpe scandal. Cat Williams said a snow bunny can destroy you in 2 weeks.
No.
Okay.
I'm looking to get about, hey, I'm about to be 55, I'm about to be double nickel. I was a terrible father. I probably was a terrible brother, a terrible son. I definitely was a terrible boyfriend.
Social media, motherfuckers won't like your shit to help you. DL Hughley does that shit for me all the time. If your videos are great, he'll put it on his platform. DL always looks out. Man, likes my shit. Michael Blackson will like my shit sometimes. Little things here and there.
I guess he ain't put mine up because I'm Wendy Williams with a weight set, so he ain't put nothing
You're
up.
Wendy Williams with a weight set.
Had star written all over him, and people really thought he was about to take over the league. But life started throwing serious challenges his way. From growing up with financial struggles to dealing with intense family pressure, plus experiencing deep personal losses that would weigh on anybody. That kind of stuff changes a person, no matter how talented they are.
Never had a white mistress.
Never.
Even my mistresses have been black.
Have you ever had sex with a white woman?
No, I haven't. But, and not because...
Wait, you've never had sex with a white woman?
And
in life?
No.
Women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
So I go back in her bedroom. So set my stuff down, and I'm looking at the door handle. It's turning. I say, homeboy, no, I don't get down like that. There. Dude come in. He got that chopper.
No, he don't.
Oh, Lord have mercy. He's about to ask me, am I sharp? I said, yeah. He said, I thought so. I said, my man, this your people? He said, yeah, 2 years. I said, my man, I ain't know. I said, I ain't even know. I said, bro, you know who I am now? I said, man, I'm my bad. I'm at fault. It saved me. Because had I not been, I ain't telling this.
You wouldn't even been able to.
I ain't telling this story. Ken. So I get my stuff. I get on. I said, my man, my bad. So I get in the car. He got me shook. Now I'm right. I ain't gonna lie. He had the chopper. We'd had to rumble a little bit. But he got the chopper. He the big man. So I get to the car, and I'm like, oh man. I said, man,
it's gone.
I got a Rollie. No, I got a Rollie, my bracelet, and my necklace. I said, man, stop the car. My homeboy said, man, forget that. I said, man, F that, boy, that's 50 bands in there. Man, I went right back up in there. I said, my man, let me get that on the dresser. He said, here you go. So from that was in 93. I have not closed my eyes at another woman's house in 31 years. You know who Sky Bree is, Ocho?
Sky Bree? Who that is, Coach?
Yeah. How I do it. How I do
Hey, Sky,
it.
I mean, who is that? Help me out.
You know what I'm saying? She little something. She might be famous for vertical activity that she good at.
Oh, she a hooper?
Oh yeah.
Who she play for? Who she play for?
She got her own little thing,
Huh?
You said, man, y'all. Man, y'all need to stop, man. Y'all be on that bull jive, man.
Hold on, who she play for?
Back in the day, she could have been on my team.
She played for on her back.
During the interview, things got real emotional when Beasley opened up about losing his mom to cancer back in 2018. He explained how that situation left him feeling hurt and even frustrated because she kept the severity of her illness hidden from him and his siblings, trying to protect them instead of letting them fully understand what was happening. That kind of truth hits different when it finally comes out. You could feel the weight of that moment. And then all attention shifted to Shannon. Because the way he responded right after that, man, this is where things really started to feel uncomfortable. Michael Beasley was sitting there completely emotional, breaking down, tears coming out, really letting his pain show. And instead of easing into that moment, the first thing Shannon Sharpe throws at him is basically, so you was mad at your mom? Like, hold up. What kind of timing is that? Beasley is pouring his heart out about losing his mother, and the question comes off cold and out of place, like the emotion just flew right over Shannon's head. It caught a lot of people off guard because the energy didn't match the moment at all. Then Beasley went even deeper and started talking about his cousin James, who passed away the same exact day he had an NBA game. Imagine dealing with that kind of loss while still being expected to perform at the highest level. He explained how he wanted to attend the funeral, but he had already missed multiple games while his mom was sick, so he felt stuck and chose to stay with his team instead. That pressure alone is heavy, but it didn't stop there. He showed up to that game mentally checked out, grieving hard, and even ended up wearing the wrong shorts because his mind just wasn't there. That's not someone being careless. That's someone hurting deep inside. And instead of support, he said his own teammates laughed at him. Laughed. That part hit people the hardest because it showed just how alone he felt in that moment. You could hear the pain in his voice the whole time, and honestly, it was tough to listen to without feeling something. But what really got folks heated was Shannon's response, or lack of one. No real comfort. No pause to acknowledge the moment, just moving straight to the next question like nothing serious just happened. Later on, Club Shay posted the clip on their official page, and instead of highlighting the emotional weight, they went with a headline that felt more like bait than respect. They pulled out a line about LeBron James and Magic Johnson laughing too, completely missing the deeper context of what Beasley was going through. Once that hit social media, it was up. People started going in on Shannon, calling out the lack of empathy and bringing up his own personal controversies. One viral post even said, "The lack of empathy Shannon showed during that Michael Beasley interview explains everything," and yeah, that message spread fast. At that point, the conversation wasn't just about the interview anymore. It turned into a full breakdown of Shannon's behavior, and people were not holding back at all. Man, the internet did not hold back at all after that clip dropped. One person straight up said, "I hate a stupid man. You old aff with no real advice or nothing to look up to, just smashing and being drunk." And yeah, people were coming in reckless with their opinions. The backlash hit Shannon Sharpe from every angle, and it wasn't slowing down anytime soon. Another comment that started gaining traction pointed out how tough it was to even sit through that moment with Michael Beasley, saying watching him break down like that while Shannon struggled to respond properly just felt off. People kept saying it exposed a bigger issue, like Shannon didn't really have the emotional awareness or tools to handle a deep, sensitive conversation like that. And once that narrative started spreading, more folks jumped in agreeing heavy. Then somebody else added even more fuel, saying Shannon seems disconnected from real-life situations, and that's why he ended up in messy situations before. That comment alone had people bringing up his past and questioning his judgment all over again. A lot of people started referencing that situation involving a young model, basically saying Shannon had all the success, money, and influence in the world, but still got caught slipping and didn't move smart. The conversation online turned into folks saying he didn't really learn from that moment, and now they're side-eyeing how he tries to give advice to others like he got it all figured out. Then things took another turn when a viral clip of DL Hughley on Vlad TV started circulating again. In that interview, DL kept it real simple and said he's never been with a white woman in his life. Not out of hate or anything wild, but because he never felt like he needed to go that route to validate himself or his value. He explained it like his identity and worth were never tied to crossing that line. And that message started resonating with a lot of people watching all this unfold. And of course, once that clip started making rounds, people immediately began comparing it to another moment involving Cat Williams. Folks brought up that time Cat sat down with Shannon and basically warned him about the type of situations he could end up in if he wasn't careful. At the time, some people laughed it off, but now, people are looking back at that clip like it was a real warning that went ignored. Now the internet is connecting all these moments together, building a bigger picture, and saying this situation didn't just come out of nowhere. Now pause for a second and really think about how all of this hits when you remember what Shannon Sharpe already went through. People keep bringing up that situation where a white woman connected to OnlyFans ended up tied to him financially, and the story spread like wildfire online. Folks are saying millions were on the line, and it turned into a messy situation that had everybody talking. From what people are saying, Shannon first tried to settle things quietly, but the fallout didn't stop there because it started affecting his professional image too. That's when people began mentioning his connection to ESPN and how everything surrounding that situation didn't exactly help his position. Whether you agree or not, the internet has been running with that narrative heavy. So now when DL Hughley speaks on it, he's basically framing it like, I would have never even been in that situation to begin with, because in his mind, he never needed that type of validation in the first place. And that's where his confidence in his stance is coming from. Now don't get it twisted. DL and Shannon have had tension for a minute, throwing little shots back and forth over the years. But things really got louder after Monique popped up on Club Shay. That interview stirred a lot of reactions, and DL didn't stay quiet after that. He went straight to his own platform and started calling things out directly, no filter. DL said, Shannon presents himself like that wise uncle figure everybody should listen to. But behind that, he's really just putting people's struggles on display to rack up views. That's a serious accusation, and it got people debating instantly. Then DL took it even further and compared Shannon to Wendy Williams, saying Shannon is basically the same type of personality but in a different form. And everybody knows Wendy built her name off talking about other people's personal situations, sometimes in ways that made people uncomfortable. DL's point was that Shannon is doing something similar, just packaged differently, with a sports background and a different delivery style. And when it comes back to that situation involving the OnlyFans model, DL's angle is clear. He's saying that wasn't just bad luck or being tricked, but something deeper about decision-making and awareness. And this is exactly where people are drawing the line and saying this wasn't just bad luck. This is a pattern. Folks are really out here saying Shannon Sharpe didn't just get caught up once, but that he keeps putting himself in the same situations over and over again. And that's why the criticism is hitting so hard right now. People even started bringing up that old interview he did with Cam Newton on Funky Friday, where Shannon told stories about times he felt like women tried to set him up. He was talking like he learned lessons from those moments, saying things that made it sound like he became more careful after that. But now critics are looking back at that and saying, did he really learn anything though? Because fast forward, and here we are again with another situation that had people talking about money lost and decisions that didn't look smart. And what really made folks shake their heads is hearing that even after all that noise, Shannon was still publicly speaking on being involved with another OnlyFans model, this time mentioning Sky Bree. That had people like, wait, again? At this point, the conversation online is that this isn't new behavior. It's just the same cycle playing out in public. People are calling it reckless, saying he moves without thinking things through and then doesn't take time to reflect on why things keep going left. That's the narrative gaining traction right now. So when viewers watched him sit across from Michael Beasley, who was clearly emotional and opening up about losing his mother, they weren't even shocked by the lack of response anymore. For a lot of people, it just confirmed what they already believed. They expected more maturity, more awareness, especially from someone who presents himself like a seasoned voice. And that's where the biggest disappointment is coming from. People keep saying someone in that position should have grown from past experiences, should have picked up some wisdom along the way. But critics are now questioning whether that growth ever really happened. So, now the question is bigger than just one interview moment. Is Shannon just moving careless? Or is there something deeper behind these repeated situations that people keep pointing out? And what do you honestly think about how he handled that conversation with Beasley? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't just scroll past. Hit that like button, subscribe to stay locked in, and make sure you tap in for the next video, because this conversation is not cooling off anytime soon.